What's going on, family? All right, we're on day 13. Day 13 of Project Freedom. And man, almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks going strong. And I feel good. I feel good that I'm able to be consistent. That's the number one word, consistency. And glad that I'm able to keep promises to myself. So, for those of you that are new here, what is Project Freedom? Project Freedom is my journey to leave my 9 to 5. My journey to reclaim my time and use my time the way I want to use it, not use my time and my energy to fuel somebody else's dream. I need to fuel my dream. So, I was laying on the couch 13 days ago, and I said, how can I leave my 9 to 5? Just thinking about it, laying down on the couch exhausted after working. I said, what can I do to leave my 9 to 5? Then I had an ingenious idea. Let me ask ChatGPT. Everybody asking ChatGPT everything. ChatGPT knows all, so I said, let me go ask and see what that says. So, typed it in. How do I leave my 9 to 5? Give me a step-by-step roadmap on how to do this. And, ChatGPT asked me some questions, I guess, to get the foundation of, what I'm into, what I'm about. And then it started giving me tasks, daily tasks to complete, so I can leave my 9 to 5 eventually, as long as I follow the roadmap like I asked. So I've been doing it. Day 1 through 12, I have completed. I have done a video entry, and I have written in my notebook, which I call the Founder's Log. This is the Founder's Log. And, I plan to fill the notebook with the answers to the questions that it's asking me. And we're on day 13 today. If you want to see the previous days, you can go to the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, as always. So, day 13, the task is, what is the difference between motion and progress? And I saw this question, and I was like, I know the answer to this. This is easy. But like all of the previous questions that it's asked, on the surface it looks easy, but then as you dig and dive into it, it starts to make you think. It starts to get the gears turning in your mind. So what's the difference between motion and progress? Well, immediately I thought about somebody in quicksand. And, they could be moving. They could be doing all of this, and they're not going nowhere. They could be moving all their arms. They could be moving their legs as hard as they can. Only place they're going is down. Matter of fact, the more they move, the faster they're going down. And when it comes to progress, that's not what we want to do. And yeah, so quicksand was a good analogy for, moving a lot and not making any progress. So then when I thought about progress, I thought about me going into my car, turning the key, moving my ankle slightly, putting the car in drive, moving my ankle slightly, and the car taking off forward. And I thought about, if you have a vehicle, right? It doesn't take a lot of movement to have the forward progress. All you gotta do, once the car is in the right, mode and position ready to go, you move your ankle slightly down and you'll take off forward. So I compared like a vehicle, I can't pronounce vehicle. You have a vehicle, and I likened it to a system. if you have the right system, it doesn't take all of this to make forward progress. All it takes is this and this with your foot. You have the right system. Everything in place, go forward. Excuse me. So now I compared it to my life, right? I have a system where every day I write down my daily goals, and my daily goals are aligned to yearly goals that I set at the beginning of this year. And every day I complete these goals, for the next day I'll have very similar goals, but I'll raise the expectation of the goal. For example, I have a goal at work. I have like a building and I have like a playscape type of situation. And my goal is to run around that thing 5 times in under 5 minutes. So the first lap that I'll do will be like a warm-up lap. The second lap that I'll do is me going at my fastest. And then the last 3 laps, go as I will, because after the second lap, I'm done. I'm covered in sweat. It's already summertime, covered in sweat. So I'm just trying to make it through at this point. And the only thing that I need to do is to do it in under 5 minutes. Now, every day, the main goal is to do it in under 5 minutes. But the second lap, when I do it my fastest, I have to improve that by any amount, whether it's a second, half a second, whatever the time says, I just have to improve on that. And for me, that's progress. Regardless of how small the progress is, maybe 0.5%, 0.1%, whatever. Every time I do it, it is progress. And it's all about moving in the right direction. I also have another goal. I have to do, what's another goal? The push-ups. I have to do push-ups. I have to do incline push-ups and decline push-ups. Every time I do it, I improve by 1. And if I get to a point where I just can't do it, I'll separate the sets. So the total number will be increasing by 1. And, forward progress, getting stronger. On the flip side now. So that's progress. Not a lot of motion, maybe, like I said, 0.1, 0.2% improvement every day. But progress nonetheless. Now, on the flip side of that, my son. Now, I'm going to preface this when I talk about my son. My son has improved his workout plan immensely. He goes there with a plan. He, writes down his results, and he's improving every time he goes. Before, he'd be like, "Can I go to the gym?" I'd be like, "Yes, you can go to the gym. Did you write down what you did?" No, I know what I got to do. And he'd be in there. He'd be lifting heavy weights, doing reps, staying in there for an hour, 2 hours. No progress. Why no progress? Because you're not tracking down what you're doing. You're not seeing where you need to improve. You're just going there to go there. And it's kind of like a waste of time. And I think about when I go to work and I work these long hours and I am working essentially to put food on the table, keep a roof over my family's head, keep the lights on, and not really getting the forward progress that I want. I want to be able to save money. I want to be able to invest. And right now it seems like it's just a struggle to do those things. It just feels like I'm treading water. So I'm trying to be free. So yeah, That's the difference between motion and progress to me. What's motion and progress to you? What's the difference to you? And what examples in your life can you tell me, like, this is motion and this is progress? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and comment. I love you. Live life confidently. Peace.